All right. Welcome to Clozer Cult Podcast. I'm your host, Alma Merrill, and today I have with me Mr. Dan Kennedy.
What's going on, Alma?
What's up, Dan?
Oh, not much. What's up with you?
You know, just excited to be here, alive, excited, and full of energy, right?
Thanks for having me.
So today we're going to talk about real estate, investing, kind of whatever comes to mind. Dan and I, holy cow, Dan and I, we go back, man.
We go way back.
We go way back. We started in real estate together, basically, right?
Yeah, I think you probably started at least a year ahead of me, I want to say, because when I showed up, you, in my eyes, you were like, there, you had made it. You were somebody I looked up to. So
Really?
Oh, absolutely.
That's wild, dude.
I started in the spring of 2007.
Okay. Yeah. So I was like, I think I was 2005 or something like that. So I was a couple years ahead of you. I think I was summer, like July 2005, I think, something like that. So I'm like 18 plus years right now, something like that. But yeah, man. So Dan and I, if you guys watched my previous recording of FSBOs, you probably saw I talked a little bit about Dan, and he and I used to do FSBOs together.
That's right.
And we went through the market till it tanked together, right? And then at the end of the season I call it the season, but when the market kind of tanked and the inventory started to get really difficult to sell, and the brokerage tanked and all the agents went away. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah.
And we're sitting there, we're in our realty executive's office, and Dan and I are the only ones there. The secretary's gone. She quit. The broker quit. All the agents quit. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah. It was an interesting time in real estate for sure.
It was wild. And he and I would come in and we're like, screw this, dude. We're going to go through this. We're going to make it happen. And we ended up actually surviving and thriving in just pretty much a shitty market. So
that's right. So for me, the market was still like white hot for a couple months.
Yeah.
In that summer of 2007, that spring summer. Then July, August of 2007, just like somebody flipped a switch and couldn't get a single showing.
Yep.
Couldn't, of course, no offers. I mean, I probably had like one, maybe two listings at the time. And it was interesting for sure.
So and what happened after that when all the market shifted like that and everything that light switched off? Then what happened after that?
I took a little bit of a detour, to be honest. So we were, I was young, married, had a kid, might have had another one on the way.
You wanted to go do nails, right? You wanted a nail salon, isn't that right? No.
I wasn't closing any deals. Like, virtually brand new, had zero, past clients, no like deep roots in the business. My chance of survival was pretty low at that point in time. So I made a decision. I went back to the job that I was at prior to getting into real estate, which was like, it was a great job for college, just working at a treatment center for at-risk youth.
Oh, that's cool.
So I went back there temporarily, knowing that in the summer of 2008, I was going to go knock doors, go door to door and
do door-to-door sales.
Yeah. Door-to-door sales.
Doing what? Like pest control or
it was
alarms?
Yeah, it was alarms.
Was it alarms?
Down in Dallas, Texas.
Cause I knew it was either going to be pest control or alarms. Cause I went and did in 1997, I did pest control. That was like the big cool thing back then. So
it was a good summer. I enjoyed it. It got into a good group of guys. It was super successful and had some good mentors there who taught me a lot about salesmanship and leadership and persuasion that that translated really nicely to when I got back from that and had a little bit of money in the bank. It was very useful for me moving forward from there.
And I feel like I got the same thing too. Like before I got into real estate, I did the door-to-door sales thing. And I feel like that it was so helpful to learn how to have a high level of communication. Of course, both you and I served LDS missions too, right? Back in the day. And so the missionary service as well, going door to door, kind of helped break that ice as well. But when it came to the actual closing and sales and kind of the putting packages together for people and stuff like that, I really think the door-to-door sales was like invaluable, when it came to that. It was just like the best value ever for your one summer, right?
Absolutely.
And then did you find that you just met amazing people that you're still friends with today?
Doing on the doors?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yeah. No, I mean, in your sales group that you were with.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Did you?
I'm
Yeah.
still close with a bunch of those guys.
Okay. I actually did both. I still have like close friends that we met when we were out selling, that people I just connected with, and I'm still connected with them today.
That's awesome.
And then we went to church out there and stuff, and met the local people and it was awesome. We had a great time.
Yeah.
So yeah, that one summer was amazing for me.
So one of my earliest memories together with you. So it's probably
you're going to talk about me now.
Fall
Jeez.
of 2008.
Okay.
So I had taken a little break from real estate, probably, I don't know, 4 to 8 months,
Mm-hmm.
while I was back at the job temporarily, and then out that summer on the doors in the summer of 2008.
Right.
So I got back in September of that year, 2008. Market was still spiraling, brokerages going out or going under, everybody getting out of the business. It was tumultuous, to say the least, at that time. So I had my back was up against the wall, as many people's
I remember
were.
feeling that way. Yeah.
Yeah, just a little bit. And so I was just doing the for sale by owner thing and the expired thing. And I was setting appointments, and I was going on appointments. I just was not taking listings.
Right.
Literally, I was 0 for 15.
Oh, really?
My first 15 for sale. I don't know if they were.
So you were setting the appointments, attending the appointments, and not
exactly.
taking them, not closing them?
Exactly.
Okay.
So my cubicle was right outside your office, over in the building there on 1600 North
In Orem.
in Orem,
Utah. Yep.
and so like we knew each other, not super well at that time. And your office was, like I said, my cubicle was right outside your office, and you came to me one day, and you're like, "Hey, I see you working hard. I see you on the phones every day. I think you're setting appointments, but you have no business. Is that right?" I'm like, "Yeah, pretty much." And you said, "All right, well, more or less, I'm going to take you under my wing, and we're going to do this together, and I'm going to teach you how to get this done the right way, and we'll split everything."
How did that go?
It was amazing.
Was it?
Yeah. So
I always wonder what your perspective on our first meeting and relationship was,
Yeah, it was fine.
Good.
I mean, I'm like, this guy can sell. Like, that's what I needed. So that was probably, we're talking, late fall coming into the winter of 2008 at this point in time. So I'm still cranking away on the phones. Like, you're doing your own thing as well. Like, you've got your business going over here.
Yep.
So we just decided to co-list a number of properties together.
I remember that. Yeah. It was fun.
It wasn't a ton of business. It was like probably 6 to 7 listings
Deals,
that we listed together. So I would still set the appointments. You would attend the appointments with me.
That's right.
You had the skill set to convert these appointments into business.
Right. Yep.
And we just closed them together.
So let me ask you this, because I have a couple listeners that are in this exact position that you were at then, where they knew how to set appointments, but they couldn't close the deal. What was the difference for you?
It was mindset.
Was it?
I mean, just like 80% of life and business is mindset. I did not believe that I had the skill set or the leadership to convince these people that I was their best bet to get the house sold.
And to guide them through that process, huh?
Yeah.
So here's what's funny. I have this one guy who I work with. I won't mention his name on here. He has a really good YouTube channel. But anyways, he's sets appointments like crazy, but he cannot close them at the house. And I told him, I said, there is a skill that you are missing right now, because your ability to set appointments is great. He sets them like crazy, but then he can't close them. And the skill is mindset, because mindset really is an intertwined skill, right? Because we try to separate like, oh, mindset versus skill set, right? And disciplines and all that. But the mindset is also a skill. Having a clear mind is a skill. You have to practice it, right? Every day.
Yeah.
And do you remember when we first started what we did every single morning?
Yeah. I remember it clear as day. It was probably like the highest level of discipline I've ever displayed in my business.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we had to, because the market
yeah.
sucks so bad.
I'd get up way before the sun came up. I'd get into the office at 7:30.
Yep.
We would go into that corner office there, like that back corner
Back
office.
corner, yep.
And we would shout affirmations.
It overlooked the freeway and the gas station, and
we'd crank up the music. We'd like change our physiology a little bit, and like, you know, just get the blood flowing, get
pumped up.
Get pumped up.
Yeah.
Do something a little bit different, get out of your comfort zone. And so we'd have that, you know, powerful 30-minute type of session. So when 8 o'clock rolled around, we were ready to hit the phones and get the, you know, be the first ones to hit those leads.
And learning how to do that stuff, I mean, it's really not rocket science, right? It's just a matter of, you know, Tony Robbins says motion creates emotion. And so if you move your body and you have motion, it'll create the emotions that you need to be able to perform on a high level throughout the day. And sometimes you have to do it multiple times. Like I know I do. Sometimes I'll come in here, I'm editing a video or I'm doing a podcast or something, and I need to get on the phones for prospecting, and I have to do it all over again. Yep. Everything I did in the morning, I have to do it in the afternoon. If I make calls in the evening, guess what? Got to do the whole thing in the evening too. Jumping around, pumping up the music, shaking my body, you know,
that's right.
Getting it ready. So then once you started learning that stuff, what kind of happened? How did your business transpire from that point?
Actually, is it okay if I backtrack a little bit?
Oh yeah, definitely. Of course.
So before you came to me with that proposal, like I was once again searching for jobs.
So you were done in real estate, ideally.
Almost.
Okay.
And this was even after that summer of moderately successful door-to-door sales. I was still like, boy, you know, it was not a slam dunk by any stretch.
Right.
And so I'm looking for jobs, looking for sales jobs, looking for whatever.
Right.
Across the freeway, I found an ad for just, salesman. It was folding chairs and folding tables.
Really?
Making 50, 60 grand a year.
Wait, so it was like a company that sold folding chairs and folding tables?
Yeah.
Wow. Was it Lifetime?
Something like that.
Because they're a huge
Mighty
company
Light,
now.
Lifetime or Mighty Light, something like that.
Okay, because Lifetime's like massive here in Utah.
I'm pretty
now.
sure it was not Lifetime.
Okay.
But I'm like, okay, 50 grand doing that. That could be a thing for me. Like I can do that. I'm like literally pursuing that.
Uh-huh.
And I think it was shortly thereafter you came to me, and no offense to, like, that's good, honest work, you know, doing whatever they're doing with the folding tables and the folding chairs.
Right. Yeah, definitely.
But our like little meeting literally changed the course of my life, my family's life, because like I said, nothing against selling folding tables. Had I gone that direction, like, I just can't imagine what life would be like for my family tree if I didn't get this figured out and stick on the real estate path.
You just gave me goosebumps, bro. I'm glad I had some hand in your massive, ridiculous success that you've had now.
And I don't think I ever told you that until we like reunited kind of over at the Orem KW building.
Yeah.
2 or 3 months ago.
Yeah, I heard you were speaking, and I'm like, oh, I gotta go listen to Dan speak. We haven't talked for a while, and I just love you to death, man. We have such great history.
Appreciate that.
And I remember, just reconnecting with you. Yeah, and when you told me that right there, I was like, what the hell? Like, I've always looked up to you because you've had so many amazing qualities that I don't possess. Like you're really your mind works way better than mine does. You know, mine's all over the place. Yours is like, you're really focused and detail oriented. You're highly analytical. You know, people trust you immediately. Sometimes I have to work for that a little bit more, or at least that's maybe one of my insecurities or something that I have, you know, that I think that I have to do that. And so I've always looked up to you. So that's funny to hear.
Yeah.
that
And
from
that
you.
was another like aha for me because I went, I mean, it's not like we hadn't become strangers by any stretch of the imagination
Right.
over these past, 13 to 14 years.
Yeah, we still
whatever it's
randomly
been.
talk and
Yeah, we still cross
on
paths a
deals
little
and
bit,
stuff here and there. Yeah.
but I never like took the time to let you know like how much that meant to me at that time. So that was another aha. Like when there's people in your life who have made a big impact on you in one way or another, don't neglect telling them like what that meant for you at the
Wow,
time.
dude.
You don't have to wait 14 years to tell somebody that they meant a lot to you. So.
Thank you so much, dude. I really appreciate that. I really
Absolutely.
do. That means a lot to me to know that I did that or that I helped in that process. You did it all. I just probably kicked you in the right direction.
That's what I needed. So.
You did all the hard work. So, yeah. So tell me this, like, before all of this, like, what's your education like and stuff like that? Are you like high school, college, degree? Like, what was your education like?
Yeah, pretty typical, just Utah high school education.
Okay.
Kind of breezed my way through high school.
Mm-hmm. Straight A student, no doubt.
No.
Come on,
Maybe,
Dan.
Yeah, definitely not. No, like scholastically, I'm not. Like I'm probably very average.
Really?
Yeah, 3.5 GPA.
Hey, all you average people have a chance out there.
Yeah, I'm not going to say my ACT score, but it was not impressive. I did a year at UVSC at the time was the name.
Utah Valley State College.
Utah Valley State College.
Yep,
and
I remember
then
that place.
went on my mission, and a little sidetrack here, but it might be interesting to know. So I was last 2 months of my mission and I wanted to get into BYU.
And where were you serving at?
I was in Sweden.
Sweden.
Stockholm,
Okay.
Sweden. So
oh, that's rad. So what language?
Swedish.
Is it Swedish? That's
Yeah.
what it is. Okay. And you speak Swedish still.
Yeah, I mean, it might take a minute to get things going, but
Is that how you got your hot wife? Was it speaking Swedish to her?
I don't, just lucky, I guess, but it was definitely not speaking Swedish to her.
Okay.
So I wanted to get into BYU, and I'm clear. I'm in Sweden at the time, so I don't really have at my disposal the applications and all of that. So my parents helped me get an application put together. I sent it in. I'm home now from my mission, and I'm like, oh, man, why have I not heard from like the admissions department at BYU? So I reach out to them, and I'm speaking with the gentleman on the phone. Like, hey, I just wanted to check and make sure you have my application for enrollment here at BYU. He's like, oh, I see the problem here. We do have it, but it has not been processed. You haven't paid the $35 application fee. I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'll get that sent over right away. And he said to me, son, I've got your stuff pulled up here on my screen, your grades, your ACT score. Why don't you go ahead and save yourself that $35?
No way,
because
dude.
there's no way you're getting into BYU.
Really?
Like, oh, that hurts, but thanks for saving me the $35, I guess.
That is wild, dude. That is crazy.
So from there, I stuck it out at UVSC, just did business management, and I was at that treatment center for at-risk youth.
Now,
for
did you
4 or
like,
5
sorry,
years.
my other camera shut off. Did you like UVSC, your time at UVSC?
Yeah, I mean, for a guy like me, it was fine. I mean, I didn't have like Harvard aspirations or anything like that.
Right. And BYU is kind of like that. It's like the Ivy League of Utah, right? BYU and UVU.
I guess. I don't know. I'm not sure about Ivy League, but
yeah. I'm not sure about that either. My wife went to BYU. My dad went to BYU. He flunked out because he skied too much. And my wife stopped going because she got into film, and they told her, you don't need to finish BYU because you already got jobs coming. So it's pretty crazy.
That's cool.
So then UVSC, and then.
So I finished up the degree there, just kept working at that job. So I graduated probably in 2004. So I was still at that treatment center for at-risk youth. I guess, for the next 3-ish years. Maybe I graduated in 2006. I can't remember, but then started real estate in 2007.
Okay. And then from the time you started real estate to the time you felt like you were staying in real estate, how long was it?
So it was around, so you and I did those listings starting in the fall of 2009.
Right.
By the summer of 2010, that's when it started to click for me.
Okay. I do have a question for you though.
Yeah.
During that time, you remember I was married previously, right?
Yes.
Do you remember the tumultuous environment that I had myself in?
I do.
How did that affect you? Because I always looked at it and I always tried to like justify what was going on. You know, did that affect you at all as we were going through that process?
It did a little bit, I suppose. I mean, you and I did have listings together, and there was a certain amount of chaos happening for you personally,
right?
That did like show itself to some degree while you and I were doing those listings together.
I always tried to hide that. I'm sorry if that like bled into your business, but maybe it was just life experience for you. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it happens. Right. So yeah, I could see, difficulties there. Yeah. I don't know if there was something I could have been doing for you guys at the time, but you guys had to figure that out on your own, I guess.
It was a weird road, man. Let me ask, were you, and remind me, I think you were already married at this time too, right?
Yes.
You were married to your sweetheart. And how many kids did you guys have
at that time? Just the one. And number 2 was born number 2 came right in November of 2008. So probably right around the time you and I had begun doing those listings together.
Okay, cool. That's awesome. Okay, so let's talk about you've done some really exciting things. You guys have some stuff that's coming up right now, and you've built out some offices and stuff that you've just opened. And you have another one coming up soon too, right? Offices.
It's in the works, yeah.
So I want to talk a little bit about that. So tell me about what you guys are accomplishing with Keller Williams and your personal brand over there, and kind of what your plans are for the future. So are you partners in the office in Orem or just?
No, okay. I'm not a partner in KW Westfield in Orem.
Okay. So just the one down in
Mapleton,
and then there's one coming open, right? Aren't you opening another one too at some point?
4 partners and I, we've all been at Keller Williams for a long time.
Yeah.
I've been there for probably 14 years,
right?
Coming up on 14 years now.
Holy cow, man. That seemed like that went fast.
Yeah. Well, when Realty execs closed the doors and said, "Hey, come work out of our Fort Union office," I was like, I live in Spanish Fork, so I'm not coming up.
Not driving to
coming
Salt
up
Lake,
here to do my thing. So at that time, there some of the other agents from Realty executives who I liked and respected had moved over there, and it was a good group of people, and it seemed like a really nice fit for me.
Nice. And it is an awesome group of people.
Yeah.
I mean, I have some dear friends over there, including you, and it's they've really created a cool environment over there.
Yeah. So a few partners and I have seen it as an opportunity to let's start like a satellite KW office down here in Mapleton to serve agents specifically on the south end of the county.
Mm-hmm.
And so a couple of our partners, Brad Morgan and Joel Johnson, a couple years ago purchased a lot on the corner of Harvest Park there on 1600 West in Mapleton. One of the 2 stoplights in town, maybe 3.
One of the great. Yeah.
So they acquired that lot a couple years ago and started a building on it and brought in a couple other partners to join in on the investment and just the owning of the brokerage, and it's just an investment and a business opportunity.
And if they started that, or if they bought that a couple years ago, there's some serious probably equity in that land, right?
The appraisal came in very nicely. Yeah,
very nicely. Mapleton.
And the construction started before just these crazy, the lumber prices of 2022, and just the insane cost to build. So it turned out pretty good.
You got in right at the right time.
Yeah, so it's a 20,000 square foot building. The main floor is it's mixed use. So the main floor is the
Sweet.
commercial space. So it's got our KW Excellence brokerage, and then we have 2 tenants in there. One space is occupied by Prospect Title, and then the other commercial space is occupied by Security National Mortgage.
Okay.
And then the top 2
And
floors.
are those vendors that you guys work a lot with?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, we work a lot with Prospect Title and Security National Mortgage.
Beautiful.
And the top 2 floors of the building is 9 apartments. Most of them are 3 beds, 2 baths. A couple of them are 2 beds, and
It's sick.
So we're filling those up, and yeah, it's kind of a huge piece of my and everyone else's just long-term retirement strategy.
Yeah. Well, for most people who don't know about Mapleton, this camera right here is the only one that's on for me, because this one is get overheated. But for those of you who don't know Mapleton, it is like the high-end town of kind of that area, right? Like it's like the Beverly Hills of the south part of Utah County, right?
Sure. Yeah, it's got the that zip code. Or that area code zip code.
Zip code, yeah.
Would be the highest value zip code in South Utah County.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Probably second only to Alpine and Utah County, I would imagine.
Right. Yeah.
Just it's an old farm town, lots of old farmers who, their land has since been developed, and just a lot of money moved into town for sure over the past 20, 30 years.
Yeah, and it's just, I can't believe how much it's grown. So tell me this, why did you choose Mapleton? Was it just because you kind of had a good deal on the land, or was it like, hey, we feel like this is an area that's growing so much, there's going to be a lot of agents we can serve right here?
I think the original idea, part of it was a lot of us just live on the south end of the county, so that seemed like a natural fit. And yeah, there's not that many like brick and mortar, full service real estate brokerages serving agents on the south end of the county. So it just seemed like a really natural fit.
Not like a really beautiful high end style like what you guys put there.
Right.
So there's a lot of like little, I shouldn't say a lot. There's a couple little mom and pop shops out there,
right.
but you guys opened like a serious building with some beautiful space, right?
That's right. And so in addition to the Mapleton location, we also 6 months ago purchased a lot on Pioneer Crossing in Lehigh at about 1100 West, where we're gonna, when the time is right, we're gonna start construction on a North County KW Excellence brokerage in Lehigh as well.
You know what this reminds me of when George Morris started his company. when the market started to tank, when for you guys it's not tanking fortunately, but when the market started to change, he pushed forward and created a company that flourished. Boyd Brown did the same thing. He just kept pushing forward and building when the market wanted to tank.
Yeah.
I think it's wise because you guys are such phenomenal leaders, and I know a couple of your partners, and dude, you guys are gonna have massive success and synergy out there.
I appreciate that. It's all about the relationships and like being in business with the most competent quality people. And like, that's the main opportunity for me to be in business with the right people.
Dude, if I'm an agent in Utah County, dude, that's where I'm going to be. You know what I'm saying? So that's freaking rad. And so what are your expectations for that office as far as growth numbers, amount of home sales per year? What are your kind of goals for that down there?
Oh man. I got to get that dialed in. Like,
is that loaded?
So we've been in operation now. Like, we opened February 3rd.
Okay.
So we're talking like 2 weeks, Alma. So we're just barely getting started. We do have, I just checked our roster earlier today. We do have 24 agents.
Nice.
In our brokerage.
That's really great,
which is amazing.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
So our goal, like there's 17 office spaces in the building. Of course, not everybody's necessarily occupying an office space.
Right.
But our goal is to have 30, 35 agents in Mapleton. And the Lehigh office is going to be around the same size as well.
And what kind of like trainings and mentoring services do you guys have for, let's say a new agent wants to come and join, or are you guys just looking for experienced agents right now?
We are welcoming newer agents. They're going to go through like the backbone of the KW Westfield training system in Orem.
Yep.
So like all those services and staff members and amenities and building in Orem that has already well established for the past many years is still 100% available to all of our agents. So with that being said, some of the more seasoned agents looking for great experience at KW are going to be, they'll be able to be integrated into the Mapleton office and just pick up where they left off. So, and ratchet things up a notch, higher level of thinking, just expanding their horizons with people who are doing some amazing things with their businesses.
And I have to just hand it to you and Brad Morgan, and who else are your partners over there?
Joel Johnson.
Okay, which I don't know Joel super well. I know who he is, but I don't know him really well.
Joel and Brad have been partners on everything, on all of their businesses for around 10 years now.
Awesome.
Becca Summers is a fabulous agent as well. She's just probably 5 years in the business, and she's just been absolutely crushing it.
Super dynamic. I've come across her name multiple times in the last couple of years.
And last but not least, Peter Morkel.
Mr. Peter Morkel.
That's right.
I served my LDS mission with Peter Morkel. And did I tell you the story behind that?
I've heard a story about like luggage falling out the back of a van or something like that on the way after he picked you up at the airport.
Yeah, maybe? that happened. Also, when he picks me up, he goes on the way home, he's telling us this story that they're going to create this LDS temple in a 747 and fly it around the world to do temple work for all those people who can't get to a temple. I'm like,
he's got a great sense of humor.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. That is funny, dude. He's a stud, man. Peter, shout out, bro. But yeah, well, that's exciting. So how can people contact you? If I'm an agent and I'm like, dude, I want a brokerage like this that I can be in a dynamic environment like that in Utah County.
Yeah, just stop by. It's 768 South 1600 West in Mapleton. You can't miss it.
Cool.
Or just reach out to me on my website, utahhomehub.com.
Cool. utahhomehub.com. And guys, honestly, if you're in that area and you want to be at a full service office like that, this is such a dynamic opportunity to be in a place like that. The space is beautiful. I've seen it online. You guys have built it out. You have incredible leadership. You have incredible, this is salt of the earth leadership here. These are people that truly do care more about you and your business than they care about themselves. I mean, it's by serving other people is how they've become successful. Is that a fair statement?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So that's cool. I mean, what a dynamic group. I mean, all of you guys. I mean, I just know you, Peter, and Brad better, but so happy to have you on, man.
Absolutely.
So my cameras are getting hot and shutting off on me, dude. The fly cam, the Red X fly cam looks like that. My camera looks like this. All the cameras are shutting off. Let me see if I can get another 30 seconds out of my camera here. So, dude, thank you so much, man, for coming on and chatting with me for a little bit.
My pleasure. It was a blast to come hang out with you.
It was awesome. You guys, thank you for joining us for another episode of Clozer Cult Podcast. I am Al Mamero, and we will see you guys next time.